What's going on, Lakers fans, and welcome into episode 38 of the LakeShow Flow. I am your host, Gio. As the Lakers finally snap their four-game losing streak with a much-needed win against the Suns. It was an earlier game, around noon, my time, and a little bit of change of pace. It reminded me of the Kobe days. They had their Sunday white jerseys on, and it was just an earlier start time, so it felt pretty good to have a game at that time. Not sure how the players felt about it, but they still got it done, so that is a good sign. Before we get into the game, though, I just want to say if you're new here or you've been here, please show some support on the channel. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, and go ahead and subscribe if you are new and you want to hear more of my takes on the Lakers and some NBA stuff as well. But so like I said, the Lakers did get the win 107-96. They pretty much controlled this game, the entire game, and it was a slower start from Luka. He wasn't really taking a lot of shots. He was getting people involved. Him and Austin Reeves were getting Jackson Hayes a lot of lobs to the rim and just creating easy buckets for everyone around them. And once Luka got it going, though, it seemed like that's when the Lakers fully took control of the game. And then he ended up finishing the game with 33 points, along with 11 rebounds and 8 assists. So Luka was doing it all. I feel like the sky was falling for a lot of Laker fans following that four-game losing streak. I saw a lot of people worried, and some people don't have time to watch every game. Some people just see the box score and they're like, what happened? Like, the Lakers are terrible, but the last game was very encouraging. The effort that Austin Reeves showed, along with a lot of the depth pieces on the team, they did their thing, and it was encouraging to see that. So coming into this game with Luka back, because Luka didn't even play that game, I felt like there's no way they lose. They're at home again. They can get a little more comfortable. Maybe the start time would have been, something to be concerned about because they're not used to playing so early, but they got it done. They looked great. The effort of Jackson Hayes, him being back into the lineup, made a huge difference. And even Lucas said, like, he makes his job easier. He makes the whole entire game just flow way more simple for him. And you could tell, Luka, with the lob threat, he can make any athletic center look the way Derek Lively does in Dallas. And I'm not taking anything away from Derek Lively, but the fact that Jackson Hayes has pretty much been almost like a carbon copy, and before this, Jackson Hayes wasn't really considered, that high of a talent. That's why the Lakers were able to get him for cheap. But he's performing the way that maybe his potential showed when he was younger, when he first got into the league as a lottery pick. But a lot of that has to do with the playmaking of Luka Doncic. And shout out to Austin Reeves, too. He ends up with 28 points and 6 assists with 4 rebounds as well. And Austin is finally looking the way he did before the injury happened. He had that calf strain, and I was kind of worried because I was like, I don't know. He seemed a little like slowed down at first when he first got back. Maybe he came back too soon, but he's been playing himself into game shape again, and he's honestly, him and Luka just carried the load for this team along with Jackson Hayes. Like I said, I can't stop praising that man for being such a key contributor. I mean, we don't have a big name center right now. After trading Anthony Davis for Luka Doncic, there was that gaping hole of a center spot, and we were just like, okay, well, maybe Jackson Hayes could fill in. Then they made the trade for Mark Williams. Obviously, that got rescinded, but nobody really had it on their bingo card for Jackson Hayes to be this good, this quickly into the Luka trade. There was potential there, obviously, because Luka does like to throw those lobs and feed his big men. But yeah, I think he's exceeding all expectations. And if the Lakers make a deep run in the playoffs, they're gonna have no choice but to re-sign him and to at least make him a key rotation piece, even if they go get like a better center on paper, at least. Because Jackson, like I said, he's defying all expectations, and it's just nice to see because those three pretty much carried the load. It was a good Dorian Finney-Smith game as well. He set the tone. He's always a plus-minus demon. He's always positive on that. He's always making the team around him just. He's like the spirit and the heart and soul of the defense. And I feel like even when he's not scoring as crazy, because obviously he's more of a shaky shooter than Rui Hachimura is, and we're still awaiting the return of Rui. But I'll get into the updates on him and LeBron so far. But yeah, Dorian Finney-Smith, he definitely does his part. He definitely has a finger on the pulse of what makes the Lakers or this Laker team play really good defense. And they held the big three, quote unquote, of Phoenix to an abysmal effort. I mean, KD, he still ends up with 21 points, but he was 6 for 17, so not efficient. And then Booker, 6 for 17 as well. I don't know what it is about this matchup, but Luka has consistently outperformed Devin Booker. They were supposed to have like this little rivalry and stuff, but it's not really a rivalry when it's been this one-sided. I don't consider it a rivalry. It's like when people used to say that the Lakers and Clippers were rivals, but the Clippers don't even have a single championship on their resume. So it's like, I guess you guys were sharing the same building as the Lakers, but there wasn't really a rivalry. It was just a little inner city tension, I guess you could say. But Devin Booker, he just gets owned by Luka like constantly. It's pretty crazy. There was times where people tried to make that Kobe comparison, and at this point, it's kind of laughable. I feel like the killer instinct that Luka brings to the game is way more similar to Kobe than Devin Booker probably ever will be. And I still like Devin Booker in a way. I still respect his game. He's not my favorite player, but I can respect his game, I should say. But Luka is just a whole different level. When he starts making shots against these teams that he has little beefs with, it's just different. There's a different pettiness that he brings to the game that, like I've said a lot of times, I haven't seen this on the Lakers since Kobe Bryant. And that's my favorite player of all time. So it's nice to have that type of aspect. Now, a little side note, I just gotta address this real quick because I'll talk about, going forward, the schedule that the Lakers have and how good of a win that this could end up being for momentum and all that, with LeBron still looming to come back. But let me address something. So on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, it's always gonna be Twitter to me. I don't even know. I don't really hear anyone call it X, honestly. But anyways, on Twitter, I had saw this post saying that Luka has that Jordan and Kobe mindset, but he also has the passing and the playmaking of LeBron and Magic. And so I leave a comment on there and I say, I said this when the trade went down. We haven't had that killer instinct on this team since we had Kobe, and it's a beautiful thing. Two people that are clearly LeBron like loyalist rather than Laker loyalist, because that's where my loyalty is. I'm a Laker fan above all. It's the name on the front of the jersey, not the one on the back, right? So two people comment and they say like, oh, this whole narrative that people follow, basically trying to make it seem like I'm anti-LeBron because I'm saying that Luka has a bigger killer instinct. And I try to clarify because I don't mean that LeBron doesn't have a killer instinct, but he has a different type of killer instinct. Luka and Kobe have a very petty hatred for certain teams. That's how Kobe played, and R.I.P. to him. But Luka has that. Luka has rivalries with a lot of these Western Conference teams that we pretty much inherited as Laker fans, and he brought it to our franchise. These same little rivalries, like the Suns one, he has one with the Timberwolves, he has one with the Nuggets. Like there's a lot of the Clippers. He's been a Clipper killer like his whole career. So the difference is Luka and Kobe were very vocal and very, like I said, they had this pettiness and this edge to the way they played certain teams. Now, don't get me wrong. LeBron James, it's legendary in his own right in terms of the way he gets with his competitiveness and with his killer instinct, but he's more of a silent killer. LeBron, he's gonna make the better. He's gonna take the open shooter. He'll pass it off to them rather than taking the last shot. Luka and Kobe are like, nah, I'm gonna be the reason that this team breaks your heart. Like I'm gonna kill you on this buzzer beater game winning shot, right? So you put it in a playoff scenario, I feel like LeBron is more likely to give Luka that open pass, and Luka's the one that's going to make a shot. It's just different, and just throughout the game, not even just clutch moments. Luka is just a different type of killer. He's going to get into your head. He's going to let you know it if he's balling your team up, right? And that's all I was trying to say. Is that Luka and Kobe have that type of killer instinct, while LeBron has more of a passive, silent killer type of thing. Like I said, I'm a team guy. I love all these players. I love Kobe. I love LeBron. I love Luka. They're all Lakers, and that's why, because I love the Lakers. So anyways, I just had to touch on that because in case there's anyone that doesn't understand when I say that we haven't had that killer instinct since we had Kobe, that's some clarity for you guys. Because like I said, it's not that LeBron doesn't have it. It's just that he has a different version of it, a whole different type of player, which is okay. That type of player that LeBron is what makes him great. That type of player that LeBron is what probably, allows him to be this, to have this type of longevity that he has, to be in the GOAT discussion, right? Like him and LeBron, or I'm sorry, him and Jordan are talked about above Kobe, above most players. And Jordan, because he had the flawless resume, it's hard to compete with that. You know, three-peats, never lost in the finals. And then LeBron with his longevity argument. But see, I don't even engage in that. Like the GOAT debates, it's like you can do that, but we're going to be arguing for. It's just such a heavy conversation to have. There's just so many different aspects you could throw in there. It's hard to compare eras anyways. But anyways, now I'm going off on a tangent. But the point is, LeBron James is a GOAT in his own right. And it's because of his play style that's kept him out of being, that like Kobe pretty much to a fault was a killer. He was trying to carry the team on his back, scoring wise, tears his Achilles. He was never the same. Luka, you see how bumped around and injured every game. It seems like he turns an ankle. Something happens because he's aggressive. But that's the difference. LeBron is aggressive too, but he's a little more physically gifted in terms of the athleticism. So he's not going to be getting hurt as much, right? Even at his age, he's not getting hurt as much. So anyways, I just had to touch on that because when I speak on this killer instinct topic, it seems to be, confusing to some people, especially LeBron fans. They're very sensitive. I didn't even expect to get those responses. I was just trying to praise Luka. So it's hard because sometimes you try to uplift one player and people take that as you're dragging another player down. And that's not really my style. I'm a Laker fan first. That's it. Like if Kobe would have left the Lakers, I probably wouldn't have been as big of a Kobe fan, right? But Kobe was a Laker for life, and that's why I love him. LeBron is currently a Laker. I hope Luka ends up being a Laker for the rest of his career, right? Both of them. And yeah, so that's just, like I said, a little clarity. But to get back to what this win means, I mean, it sets the tone for the homestand. The Lakers have 5 straight games, including this one, so 4 more at home. It is kind of tough, though. They do play the Spurs tomorrow. Hopefully Luka plays, or even if he doesn't, maybe Austin Reeves and, that secondary group could go off again like they did against Denver. It helps that they're at home. I feel like role players play a lot better at home. And so if it is just Austin and the role players, hopefully it's enough. But I do expect and I hope that Luka does play because every win holds a lot of weight. The race for second place is very tight right now. And they play Denver at home on Wednesday. So that game's going to have crazy seeding implications. Thankfully, Denver lost today. So it could be an interesting game, especially if somehow, I don't think LeBron's going to be back. I'll get into the updates on that. But if Luka and Reeves can get it done against Denver, that would be great. Then they got to play Giannis and the Bucks again. So just a lot of back-to-backs because they got the Spurs tomorrow after playing today. Then they get Tuesday off. And then they got to play Denver on Wednesday, the Bucks on Thursday. They get one more day off again. And then they play, I believe, Chicago on Saturday. So it's just a crazy back-to-back schedule it's going to take its toll, especially when the team's not 100% healthy. We heard today that Rui, LeBron are still day-to-day. But apparently, according to Shams from ESPN, he said that LeBron's probably going to be missing at least another week. So I mean, I want him to be 100% healthy. I don't want him to rush it, but it's a little discouraging because I wanted him to be back sooner. Hopefully, Rui is at least able to play maybe on Wednesday. That would be clutch because we need all the horses we can get back on the team to be able to play against Denver because they're not going to be an easy matchup and they're going to want a little bit of revenge because even though they won that game, the last one, they still didn't win it in impressive fashion. They almost got embarrassed. So we'll see what happens, but this game was a great win. Like I said, Luka is getting a lot more comfortable just being the focal point of this team, and it's going to be good because with LeBron on the court, I feel like Luka, there's times where maybe he's a little more hesitant to just take over a game, but now that he's getting more experience with these guys, taking over, deferring to them when he needs to, I think when LeBron comes back, it'll be an easy, smooth transition where he sees what Luka could do. He's got a front row seat. He's right there on the bench. And now Luka sees what he can do without LeBron on the court. So it's going to end up paying off, I think, in the long run because Luka's going to be more comfortable taking over. And then LeBron is going to encourage him to continue to do that. So I'm excited about the next few games because Luka's been just rolling. His efficiency is going way up. He steps on the floor and is already walking into triple-double watch. So it's been great to watch. And like I said, the next game, it will be tomorrow against the Spurs. I will have a podcast ready to go. Hopefully we have everybody healthy that is healthy. Hopefully everyone plays. And even if Luka plays, I mean, there's some injury scares almost every game with him. But hopefully he comes out healthy so he can play Denver. And hopefully him and Reeves just tear it up. But I'll be covering this crazy, hectic week that the Lakers do have to play in. And yeah, if you're new here or you've been here, like I said, please show your support. Like the video, share the video, comment on the video, and subscribe to the channel. But that's going to do it for the Lake Show Flow. And we'll see you guys next time.